is very funny because it's a conversation we had like 2 or 3 podcasts ago about what's more important, the message or the messenger. And this week was a grand example of what's more important, the message or the messenger. So there is a self-proclaimed relationship guru. His name is Derrick Jaxn, and he has 1.3 million followers on Instagram. And the guy,
he's a big YouTuber. Like he's a big YouTuber. Like he's one of those YouTubers that like I think he has like a content house.
Wow.
So he's like up there. But yeah, we never like dive deep into that shit. So I wouldn't know. But like I even know him through like that's how big he is. That me and you like aren't really into that shit. But I've heard of him and seen him and stuff. So he had like
this is the first time I've heard of him, but it's crazy because the article I'm reading is from the New York Post, and I'm like, you got to be somebody to make it.
He's I wouldn't say he's like up there with PewDiePie, but like he's like in that realm,
right?
People know, and it's like insanely huge.
So the article says that Jaxn preaches healing and healthy relationships. He took to Instagram Monday to confess in a video, which he appeared with his wife Denia. He states that he was involved with other women outside of their marriage. He then stated that it all falls under the category of cheating, affairs, and stepping out. The video, dubbed cringeworthy by fans, amassed 2.6 million views in one day on Instagram, another 600,000 views on YouTube, and 500,000 on Facebook. According to Essence Online, gossip about Jackson's affair began appearing in early March. This week, Candice D. Medeiros claimed to have had an affair with him after he allegedly told her that he and his wife were separated. The Daily Mail reports that D. Medeiros claimed that she and Jaxn texted through the summer of 2020, spent his birthday together, and slept in the bed that he shares with his wife.
I like that ad part. He slept in a bed that he shares with his wife. As if that makes it like any worse. Like if it wasn't in their marital bed, then it'd be like, oh, okay, at least it wasn't there.
He was already cheating, so it's like whatever.
Yeah, like who gives a shit?
Oh, not in her bed. He didn't skeet with another woman in her bed. Oh, skeet in his bed with another woman?
How dare I only skeeted on my side. You know, I was trying to be respectful.
I would never skeet on my wife's side. How dare you?
Yeah. I only skeet inside of her, on top of her, but never on the side of her bed.
Never on the side of with my wife. That's oh
come
my
on.
God.
You fucking monsters.
That's
you monsters. You God. Any little scapegoat, any little like I escaped that traitor.
Oh, so you saying that this is my skeet? You saying this is my skeet? That's how you know I didn't do it.
Test the DNA. You know why? I've been cut. So how can I skeet?
You know, baby, you know I would never skeet on your side of the bed. You know, so you know this. I didn't do this. Wasn't me. They are lying.
Baby, it was only the pre-skeet. It was pre-skeet only. But you can't control that. That's just natural shit. You know, it just comes out.
You don't wake up in pre-skeet?
You don't start your day with a pre-skeet. You send yourself up for a bad day.
Are you pre-skeet shaming right now? Is what you do?
God, this is 2021. Come on, I thought we were.
How dare you? But yeah, so people on Instagram and YouTube comments have been killing this dude, and Twitter too. And I found it hilarious. I didn't know the dude, but people were like, they were showing videos of him, previous content of his where he's going so hard on dudes who were cheating and saying like little boys cheat and real men handle their business, and if you want to cheat, then that means that you don't love her and you need to grow up before you can have an actual real relationship and all these things and blah blah blah. But I found it funny that in a piece of the video I saw on Twitter, he went to blame his extramarital affairs. He blamed it on that he was having a battle with God.
Yes, the God defense.
A battle with God, and he wasn't very happy, and I'm paraphrasing. He wasn't very happy with his relationship with God at the moment, and he chose to do some things that were were very bad and very wrong because he just wasn't centered with God.
Yeah, I mean, no, that makes sense. I forget what like verse or how they identify chapters in the Bible, but they say it's something like if you ever not you want to recenter yourself with God, go fuck another woman that's not your wife, and through her pussy, you will see God
It's in
right
it's
in
in
the
Luke.
center.
It's in Luke.
Yeah,
It's in
right
Luke.
in the clit. It's
It's
right.
in
It's
Luke.
just
Yep.
yep.
I know that chapter. I know it.
Yes, Luke.
I know it.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's right. Everyone should shut the fuck up.
I mean, dude's defense is perfect to me. I don't understand everyone's big
He
deal
got
about
God on
this.
his side. He got God on his side.
When you
Right
got
in the
God on
center.
your side to cheat and then take you back after cheating, you can't be beat.
Come on.
You can't be beat. But first of all,
what a fucking lame, man. Such a lame excuse. God. God made me do it.
I love the God defense. I love the God defense always. It's always when people are in trouble. It's always, God help me. Never when stuff is going great. But this is a prime example of what we're talking about, where people, one, they apparently his followers and stuff idolized this dude, and women thought he was just the perfect man. And oh my God, this is how you're supposed to treat women, and uh, you're supposed to, just all women don't exist after you're married, and you can't even talk to them. And like he said, you're just a little boy if you do this, blah blah blah. And I'm like, so now that this dude is cheating, does this make everything he said null and void?
So essentially, what's more important, the message or the messenger? Obviously, the messenger to people. Obviously, that's more important in the mainstream. Because even though I guess, I don't know like specifically his points, but
Right.
he made them well enough, and they were accepted well enough to be like, this is awesome message.
Right.
But now, it's fuck all that. Are we having like a cheating spree now from like a whole bunch of people because like their world crumbled and essentially he was their god, and because he fucked up, now it's just like I could fuck up too. Is that what's gonna happen?
Probably.
That's cool. Whatever excuse you want to use to cheat, fucking use it. I'm a firm believer in do whatever the yeah, do it. Yeah. Damn it. I'm a firm believer in doing whatever the fuck you want. Just accept the consequences afterwards.
Yeah.
You gotta accept them. I don't care. Like I don't care if you think like you had a good reason for this or whatever. If the other person finds it really fucked up and all that shit, then you got to deal with that shit. It's the only way.
It just shows how fickle people are when it comes to certain things, because it's like you can support someone 100% until you find out that they're not the dude that you thought they were. And even though like every single thing they might have said was true, it's like this one indiscretion just makes it not even worth the time you spent. You probably invested money into this dude or into his products or content or whatever, and it's like now he's not worth it. And I just find that hilarious, because then it's like, well, how devoted to this idea of what he was talking about are you?
Yeah. Or were you just like kind of crushing on the dude and that's it?
Or were you just looking for like somehow to justify like your dude or like your failed relationships? And it's like, oh, see, I need to find someone like this guy and everything like that. I feel like when it comes to men, women, and everything like that, I feel like people no longer accept that people are going to be people. And it's like, you never know. Like stuff is just like, we all hope that stuff plays out and works out and everything like that, but you never know. I feel like no one likes to plan for the never know part. They just like to live this fantasy of like, this is going to happen exactly how I pictured it, or this person's going to always be that person and everything like that. And truth is, you don't know. What you do is you try to make the best, I guess, educated guess when like you go to marry people or be in like long-term relationships with people. You're basically saying that I bank on this person, I love this person for them, and hopefully through the years that we're together, they'll evolve into still the person I love. But obviously, there's going to be some changes down the line. Like the idea that people we're just supposed to look at people and be like, you know what, you were going to be the person that's going to clearly take care of me, and we're gonna be one together forever. I think it's like it's a weird foreign thing where I feel like even when like the idea of marriage, like I don't even think people take into account it's two beings coming together. It's not like it's not people being like one. It's two beings who accept each other's faults and everything, and it's like, hey, we're gonna work on us and each other by until death do us part. We'll always work everything out with each other, and that's kind of the idea of it. But
Yeah,
people get it like
they tend they people like to forget that like marriage and love and stuff involves a lot of work
right,
and tedious shit. You know, just there's a song called a song about apples, and
okay,
it's by the guy Reggie Watts. If you don't know him, he's the band for the what's his name, James Gordon late night show. He's that guy, man, and he's just really really fucking good at what he does. He makes music. Anyways, in this song, there's like a part that he says like he's like the idea that most people like in the mainstream have about love. It comes from movies, TV, and books. And really, when you like, if you really pay attention to how that shit works in movies or TV, it's not reality.
nope,
But because we're like here's love, here's how it looks, here's how it is, and blah blah blah, we all think it is. And then when we're confronted with the reality of how it is, our mind like won't accept it. And any little thing, it's like, well, fuck you. Then it's like it shouldn't be this hard and blah blah blah. It should be like easy and blah blah blah.
right,
And there's like this lyric I forget, but he's like media and mediums like haven't figured out a way to portray love in a complex way for us to understand, like truly.
right.
So we're presented it the way we are, which is this idealistic, romantic, all this bullshit, and like stuff like The Notebook, which I like. That movie is one of my favorite movies. I can't watch it anymore because I saw it so many times. But
Hate that movie. I just recently saw that this past Valentine's Day for the first time, and I saw it. I didn't acknowledge.
yeah, I know, you bitch. Don't acknowledge my bit. You know what? You're not working at this relationship.
It's because this is how much I hate that movie.
You're nothing but a little boy, and
and you cheat on the bits that we do. But yo, so for the people who didn't see the Notebook, if you haven't seen it, it's like a 20-year-old movie at this point. Spoilers, they're coming. So I watched this movie, thought the movie was dope until the end. All right, I didn't like the part or the fact that they died together, like in each other's arms and shit. Nah, I'm not doing that, bro. After I done watched like this whole movie from when they were like younger and everything, and now like old boy reads her the story and she finally remembers and they both die together. Nah, we're not going out like that. We are not going out like that. All right.
fucking one last time. Is that I need some
Something.
old people fucking
Give
in a
me
movie.
something. All right. I just need I need a better ending than that. That ending was like I'm like, how is this I could see how it's romantic, but I'm like, how does this feel good for Valentine's Day? Now I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, we just gonna get old and die. Like, that's it. That's the whole point of this now. I'm like, I am devastated. Like, but that was just me.
You know what? Let's end it right now. Let's call it. That's what you say to your girl that you're taking to a movie. We're not ending it that way. All right. Fuck, I forgot where we were. We had some technical difficulties, but
yeah.
I think yeah, that ending was like that romantic, like, oh, you were in love with this person for so long and they couldn't live without each other, so they just both died at the same time.
Right.
But yeah, I get where you're coming from. Nah, I'm outliving my partner is the thing.
Nah, well, I'm not gonna say this, but I'm like, I'd rather go first personally. But
Everyone would. Right?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be alone.
Yeah, fuck that. You could have that. Yeah. Nice. So yeah, the whole, especially with that movie, The Notebook, it's like, nah, man, you can't do that shit. Like, you can't go on a Ferris wheel and like hang by your hands and like basically
right.
like I'm gonna threaten my life, threaten suicide until you go out with me.
Right.
And that's romantic, and it's just like, no, that's creepy. That's fucking weird, and that wouldn't work in real life. And
she can still say no.
Yeah, like it's fucking weird. Like, so they haven't really like a real way to show how like real love is. Just the romantic stuff, just the good stuff, or or like these are the bad times, and even though it's the bad times, we still love you. Just like, no, man, because there's some bad times where you're like, fuck
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
like for real, fuck you, kind of shit.
and I think that is like all that stuff is normal, but
Hmm.
we choose to like we use these buzzwords for like communication and all these things, and it's like I feel like a lot of those words just mean like, all right, you can argue, you can yell at each other, but as long as you can both talk it out, that's a form of communication. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't like some people are completely different. Like some relationships, they don't do that. Uh they rather yell at each other. That's their form of
Yeah,
communication. Like we can't say like that's good or bad because if it works for them, it might obviously not work for you. But if it works for them,
yeah,
then who are we to say these types of things? Like this whole idea of like this dude being a self-proclaimed relationship expert should have been a problem in the first place because it's like
yeah.
how Uh,
Like, what did he do? Did he tell you about his like all his mistakes leading up
right,
to this is why I know this stuff now, or I was
right,
just born with this knowledge, or
or it's
what?
just because I'm not a little boy and I'm blah blah blah, and it's like okay, well now are you a little boy?
Yeah,
Because it seems like you're a little boy because you cheated, but also too now you're not even taking responsibility. You're saying that you had your internal struggle with God made you cheat.
hmm. Like if I was a fan of the dude and like I had like followed his career and shit,
Right.
I would like to think that like okay, all those lessons that I learned from him were actually good lessons. People should do it
Hmm.
this way or whatever.
Right.
Um, then I would just stick to the message and say forget the messenger because it shit happens, man. Like especially nowadays where people that are getting canceled for legit reasons,
Right.
even though like I was fans of them, and then I tried to like to talk myself into thinking like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, and I try to like enjoy their shit again. I'm just like, I can't do it.
Right.
I
And
can't enjoy the shit. But everything that they said before, and I was like, I still remember those lessons. They still help me in life.
yeah, and I
So,
think that's completely fine. I think like this whole idea of just everything has to be black and white and everything it has to be this way and it has to be this way, and it's like that's fine and cool until it's not. When
yeah.
it's not that way, do you just throw everything away at that point? Is it not worth the attempt anymore or whatever? Because I'm like, what Quavo and Sweetie, they just broke up and everything, and it stemmed from, or at least this is what the internet is saying, that it stemmed from she went on she did an interview with her ex, and I guess talked about how the interviewer asked her a question about like would she be down for a threesome, and she rebutted with uh yeah you choose the dude, and
Nice.
like it like you just took it right now as she's kind of firing back like, oh yeah, okay, if it's a threesome then like yeah then it's gonna be two dudes and me, right, and everything, right, all right. However, the internet took it as um Sweetie wanted a train ran on her.
Wow, man.
And it's funny because
Yeah.
I saw the clip and I was like, I didn't get that at all. Like, but
Uh-huh.
this it pretty much led to, you know, obviously when Quavo saw this or whatever, he felt like, nah, she a hoe. I can't mess with her. And now they're not together.
Mm.
And
Do
I'm
people know
like,
what trains are? First of all, because trains aren't threesomes. Trains are like one at
it,
a time.
it started a whole debate online, which was very funny. People were like debating. It's like, nah, bro, if my girl taking two dicks, it's a train. And they were like, no, if like it has to be like an actual line, and that's like it's one
Yeah.
person goes and another person goes, and it was funny. I was like, there's been a lot of people involved in trains here. I see, but it was just crazy to me because I'm like, so this relationship, at least for our public consumption, this could have all been fake anyway, and they could never been like a couple. We don't know.
Right.
But for our public consumption, this relationship just ended because of miscommunication of a joke, which clearly she's joking. At least for us two, we can see like she's joking.
Yeah.
but the world is like, oh my God, she just said that she wants 2 or 3 dudes to be inside of her, and she's so dirty. How could she be like whatever?
Dirty. Like, people do it because it feels good. Like if you could pleasure all your pleasure holes all at once,
Oh,
you're not going to. You're like,
I was gonna say something crazy right now, but I'm not gonna say it. But it's it's just funny that like the internet, essentially made them break up. The internet is now telling that this dude is a fraud and everything like that. And it always goes back to, okay, so you put the people out there who do these things, but now you still have to go home and look at yourself.
yeah.
But I don't think.
And I think I think that's what really is what people's problem is. It's not that he did all this shit. It's not that he got like he whatever. It's that now they don't have this barrier between having to look at themselves and him.
Right.
You know, for a long time it was just like, oh, I could live my life through him and pretend I'm this upstanding person like he is. But now that that's gone, they look at themselves and they're like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. But instead of accepting that, fuck this dude
Right.
that didn't follow his message. I'm like, yeah, just work on yourself, man. So give a shit.
I think,
Hmm?
I was gonna say, I think people are honestly, I think they're too hard on themselves when it comes to their indiscretions and things like that, because there's always something bigger at the root of, well, I should say sometimes there's something bigger. Sometimes people are just dicks and they just want to do asshole stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you can figure out why you choose to be with someone and then be with another person while you're with that person, if you can figure that out, I feel like then you can answer your question on why you decided to even do any of this in the first place. But people don't want to deep dive that deep. It's just like, nah, I'm doing this because she did something wrong or he did something wrong and everything like that. And it's like, for that thought to even pop into your head, there has to be something else. You just can't you can't go from 0 to 100 like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like it was already pre-planned, already preloaded. Like you expected this and
right.
ready to roll out this plan.
It's like, you didn't just go like, oh my God, this dude's treating me bad, I should leave. You're like, this dude's treating me bad. Let me go get pounded out by another dude right now. And then he'll find out like 2 weeks later and we'll get into a huge fight. It'll be crazy. Like,
That's where the wedge comes in.
Mark, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you got Mark. It's just, I like how you had to say, Mark, nice to meet you. It's right there.
Your card is a wedge.
Nice.
Excuse
open
me.
Yeah, open the jam a little bit. I don't want to like damage it on the way in, so I'm gonna just loosen it up and then I'm being respectful here.
The
wedge
I think
the wedge treats you right. But I think that goes back to like even like the first segment on this, like people not accepting who they are,
right,
and what they want, you know. And if our conversation 2 weeks ago, fucking communicate, especially during sex and shit. Those people that like for whatever reason they feel like they need to cheat all the time and do all that stuff. I feel like if they actually found the right person and they communicated like from the get-go, like I like doing this stuff, I like fucking multiple women or multiple whatever, that they could find a person that's cool with that and down with that, like in a way. Like you might have to compromise because you can't have it all your way and all that shit. It's rare, it could happen, but they could find someone that's like accepting of all that stuff, and then they could essentially have their cake and eat it too. But because they're so scared to take that jump, so scared to be vulnerable and then be like, this is who I am, like look at me, they just settle for like, oh, I have this girl that I really like and whatever, but at this I want to fuck all these bitches too, so I'm gonna keep doing that. And it's fucked up, and it causes a lot of problems because people don't want to talk.
Yeah, I mean, also I think it always boiled down to that whole, like, people just don't want to be considered weird or weirdos, so they try to fit into stuff that they're just not, like, that doesn't suit them and everything like that. And it's crazy because we choose to essentially put square pegs in round holes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and it's like this person clearly does not want a relationship with only one person. However, they're choosing to do this because society says you need to be with one person to be normal. And
Mhm.
it's like even the which there's double standards to it, but even I salute any girl who's out there dating and smashing other dudes. I don't have an issue with it, if especially if you're being upfront and honest about it, right?
Yeah.
To the same regard, I don't have an issue with a dude doing it. That's fine if you're being upfront and honest about it, right? But both of those are looked at as two totally different things. Like, and it can be looked at from a standpoint of like, oh, the girl's a hoe, to the girl is she's a boss and she does what she wants. The
Mhm.
dude, he can be looked at as like, man, you have commitment issues, to yo, bro, you a player. And it's like, or they just want to do
Whatever.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we just feel like doing it. It's whatever. It's not. I don't really think about it. I just do it. Yeah. It's so funny because like in our circle, like the word hoe and whore and shit like that, it's not a bad word. It's actually like it's a compliment because they're some of the best people. Like some of the most real people. There's some of the people that don't play any games. They're just like, I know what I want and I fucking do it. But they're labeled whore and hoe because of, again, society and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then to hop back on what you said about like people don't want to be seen as weirdos and shit like that. Um, all those people that are choosing how to identify different pronouns and all that stuff, they don't even realize like they're doing like humanity, society, like the biggest favors, because right now they're taking the biggest risk of like showing up to the world, be like, I'm a weirdo.
Right.
According to all of you, I'm a weirdo because of this stuff.
Right.
And because they're doing it so much and it's becoming mainstream with all this other shit, people are gonna start losing their fear of being a weirdo. It's not gonna be like that word is gonna it's gonna take on a whole new meaning to where like oh shit, that's actually weird.
Right.
But all this other stuff, nah, it's whatever, it's normal. And it's gonna help people out so much. But again, this is gonna take like probably like 10, 20 years. Hopefully it goes sooner, but society moves really slow.
Yeah. I just hope that once we get to that point, we don't have the extreme rebound effect to where we go
Oh yeah.
so far left that now everything that's normal is weird. It's like, no, these are both things that they just happen, and that's
Yeah.
totally
That's
okay.
I've seen that meme where it's just like it was just like, man, some people just like vanilla sex, all right? We don't like, not everybody has to like get choked or whatever to come. So
Right.
like relax with all that shit. It's just like, yeah, it's just people, some people just like missionary. That's cool.
Man,
Don't need to stuff.
also like I'm down the line, like sexual stuff that access online, social media and stuff. I feel like it's done, like you said, it's done humanity a favor because it's taught kids and everything about safe sex and like different things and that they want to explore and everything, which is dope. It led to information. I also feel like it spawned a bunch of just complete weirdos who like do a whole bunch of just outlandish things. And again, it's like the good and bad of like situations, because it's crazy. You watch social media, or like you watch Instagram, TikTok, and everything, all these challenges and stuff, and I'm like, so essentially, I should it not defending people that think this way, but I'm like, if a dude woke up today, right, and you see all these challenges of women just doing random things, right, random sexual things, you'd be like, okay, so this is all okay, like they all like these things, and it's like, no, this is a choice, and then try to explain that to like someone
Right. It's not,
who just
yeah.
woke up. They'll be like, "What are you talking about? No, they
It's
just
like
do
they
that."
may like it, but it's also a choice because it's a challenge and they're choosing to do it in the camera
Right,
and for attention.
right,
Yeah.
and they may not like it when you approach them about it. They might like what someone
Right.
else does, though.
That's actually okay. This again, fucking porn to the rescue.
Right.
There's a there's
Yes.
a you're so no. You know, that's gonna be a tier on our Patreon. Watch us watch porn and how to react. We react to porn.
That should
That
be.
should be one.
That's
That should
good.
be a
But
Patreon for us.
that should also be like a T-shirt, like "Porn saves lives" or like "Porn like something like."
It really
Right.
does. Anyways, so there's this category. It's called like solo female, which is basically just they're masturbating and stuff like that.
Mhm.
There's times where these women will do it like in their car in a parking lot at a park or something, where it's like semi public kind of shit.
Right.
And there's this one where she's doing it and she's fucking not. She's doing it and all that stuff and she's going at it. I'm like, yeah, you fucking do it. I mumble at my part. I'm just going, fucking Bill, go for you.
He said Bill Dope. You mean Boomhauer?
Yeah, he talks to Bill. He doesn't say his own name. Okay, my bit technically works. King of the Hill, all right?
He's getting off to a girl saying Bill.
Hey yo, Bill's it could be a girl's name. You ever heard of someone called Billie Eilish?
I still have my bet going. When she turns like however age when she gets like her sexy vibes, I'm telling you, it's coming.
Yeah, it is. It has to be. Anyways, she's doing it in public and all that stuff, and then like some dude like knocks on the window, and she gets like all like she goes to cover up mode, like cross legs, cover the boobs, all that stuff.
And couldn't
the dude's
stop
like,
busting at that point, huh?
Guys could do it. I don't think women could do it. It's like a very special like guy only talent almost. But anyways, the guy's like knocking on the door like, you need help, blah blah blah, all this shit, and she's like no, and she's all embarrassed and stuff like that. So to your point, that's exactly what it is. It's like they could do it for camera, they could do it like on their terms or their show, but like you can't just go out to me like, what the fuck is fuck, let's do it. Like you do this on camera, blah blah blah. Shit. It's like, no, it's not. It's different.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like now, just imagine kids freaking growing up. Like at least I hope most of us we weren't exposed to sex until like we started to kind of understand the world to a degree. And you start seeing these videos, you start seeing things like you just pointed out, and you're like, oh man, if I saw a girl do that, I'd probably just get in the car and start. And it's like, no, like, no, that's not. No,
it's just like, people being accepting of their kinks and not being afraid for the world to know their kinks, but again, it's still on their terms only.
Exactly, and like that's what I feel like. As we keep going down this rabbit hole of things being like acceptable and cool, it's gonna keep getting worse for like people who can't accept that. Hey, this girl who like, is very attractive, who likes to show her ass or whatever, she does not want you to touch her though. Yeah. Please understand that. It's very simple. It's like you could look. She's okay with you looking. Just don't touch her. Like
that's why there's that rule in strip clubs. Like you do that, like they could do whatever they want to you, but no hands on them.
Man, that's another thing we got to do one day. You got to do an episode from the strip club.
Oh yeah, that our first time in a strip club should be that episode.
Yeah, and then just and then just have them talking to us at the same time.
Yeah, how do you feel? Do you actually have daddy issues?
Them or they?
Yeah, you identify. Honey, what? I'm just trying to shake my ass in your face. Okay, just none of these questions.
Us, if you got the money. Oh my god! Here, there's more.
She's smart. Pay her.
You're right. You're a good one.
She's definitely saving it for college.
I hope. Shit.
Whatever. But yeah, I like where this conversation went.
It's a good episode.